Coming up on Global Business, Tech Impetus, Chinese President Xi Jinping advocates technological innovation to elevate central China's economic growth. Action Plan, China introduces specific plans to enhance foreign investment and conform more closely to global economic standards. Gaining momentum, the commercial space industry in China is experiencing significant growth with increasing investments. Hello and welcome to Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Wednesday hosted a symposium in Changsha, Hunan province to promote the development of the country's central region. He stressed the role of the central region as an important base for grain production, energy raw material, and modern equipment manufacturing. She advocated for leading industrial innovation with technological advancements, fostering new quality productive forces, and promoting new industrialization. He also emphasized the need for transforming and enhancing traditional industries, nurturing emerging industries, and expediting the establishment of a modern industrial system. President Xi highlighted the significance of deeper integration of technological and industrial innovation, emphasizing scientific and technological breakthroughs and technological support capacity. He also emphasized the pivotal role of enterprises as innovation drivers, advocating for the integration of industry, academia, and research for innovation, and expediting the conversion of scientific and technological advancements into productivity. The central region of China, encompassing the provinces of Shanxi, Henan, Anhui, Hubei, Jiangxi, and Hunan, has emerged as one of the fastest growing areas in the country. Over the past 5 years, the central region has consistently experienced growth across all sectors. From 2019 to 2023, the combined gross domestic product of the 6 provinces surged from 21.8 trillion yuan to 27 trillion yuan, or $3.75 trillion, with the economies of Henan, Hubei, and Hunan ranking in the top 10 among China's 34 provincial level administrative divisions. Furthermore, the per capita GDP of the central region increased from 60,000 to 74,000 yuan, steadily closing the gap with the national per capita GDP year by year. Now, for more insights on the strategic significance of Hunan in the economic advancement of central China, we're joined by Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies of Renmin University of China. Good to see you, Professor Liu. So what is the significance of President Xi's visit to Hunan?
We know that this visit of President Xi Jinping to Hunan is the first trip after 2 sessions. So this is very significant to the rest of the country. I think in 3 aspects we have to emphasize the importance of it. The first is that he put forward again that about the importance of the high order of the new quality productive force, because this new concept has been well understood and accepted by the whole party and the whole nation. But in many cases, in many provinces, still need time to have a better deepening understanding how to put forward, how to implement this new concept, how to put this new quality productive force as the main driving force. So this is a very important step for President Xi Jinping to outline the importance again. And secondly, he stressed the importance of the farming products. As we know that in March, in all over the country, is the good time for spring farming. How to make the importance of the spring farming that related to the bumper harvest of this year. Because this year we are still facing some uncertainties and challenges, especially how to protect the grain harvest and the grain and the food industry. So the farming is very important. And the Hunan province, as we know, the major industry or the economic aspect is always led by the farming products. And the third, as we know, that President Xi Jinping visited Hunan University, and also in the have the check of the routine governance of the government. All these two combined together, we see that the President Xi laid a great importance how to make the rich culture heritage in Hunan with the party's history and the party's tradition, and make more efforts to have more high qualified education in order to push our China's modernization in a big step.
And why is Hunan such an important city, and how will this city's growth help the central region?
As we know, Hunan is the core part of the central region in China. According to the information, I think the research and the development investment in Hunan last year ranked the fifth best in the country. And the whole total added value reached 1.1 trillion yuan, increased by 8.6%. From this aspect, we can see that Hunan has a really very good reason to have more growth and strong growth economically, because they have actually Hunan has three very special, unique resources. First, plenty of the talented people. Second, they have a traditional advanced industrial history, because the tradition is very strong of this manufacturing in this area, in this province. And the third is quite very important, that very rich in the cultural heritage. As we know that when we are talking about the new quality productive force, that should be included in two parts. One is the hardware, the other is software. The software is the cultural power. The cultural power also one of the most important part of the high quality productive force. But Hunan has a rich resources in the cultural power.
All right, very interesting. Thank you so much for your insights. Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies of Renmin University of China. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is currently on his first official visit to Australia in 7 years. Much of this trip is focused on stabilizing the trade relationship between the two countries. Greg Navarro has more from Canberra.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi began the day here in Canberra meeting with his Australian counterpart, Foreign Minister Penny Wong, for the China-Australia Foreign and Strategic Dialogue. Now, both ministers acknowledged the importance of stabilizing the relationship between the two countries and resolving trade issues. The pair also acknowledged the work they've been putting in so far. In fact, this was the sixth face-to-face meeting between the two since Australia's current government assumed office in 2022. They discussed the gradual removal of trade blockages and tariffs China had placed on several Australian export items in 2020. That was largely in retaliation to Australia's previous government calling for an international investigation into the origins of COVID-19. China's government has signaled that Australian wine appears to be the next item set to resume exports into China.
As the relations improved, both sides have been ready to properly resolve some issues with a more positive attitude. The latest progress is that the wine case has been properly addressed. By the end of this month, China will release the final decision.
I also welcome progress on trade between our countries, including on wine exports, and look forward to the resolution of outstanding issues. Predictability in business and trade is in all of our interests.
Some Australian beef producers and the country's lobster industry still face high tariffs and trade blockages. The two foreign ministers also talked about security issues across the region and internationally. Wang Yi later met with Australian business leaders who told him they're eager to resume greater access into the Chinese market. He also held brief meetings with Australian officials, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Now, Wang Yi ends his two-day trip in Sydney on Thursday when he will meet with former Australian Prime Minister Paul Keating. Greg Navarro, CGTN, Canberra.
The inaugural meeting of the China-EU Financial Working Group took place in Beijing over the course of Monday and Tuesday. Xuan Changning, Deputy Governor of China's Central Bank, and Zhang Barragan, Director General for the European Commission's Directorate General for Financial Stability, Financial Services and Capital Markets Unions, co-chaired the session. Senior officials from both the Chinese and EU financial authorities convened for the two-day event, during which Chinese Central Bank Governor Pang Gongsheng and EU Ambassador to China Jorge Toledo delivered opening remarks. The discussions encompassed a broad range of topics, including the financial regulatory framework and market access for financial institutions. Both parties concurred that the working group can function as a vital communication channel for policymakers. The China-EU Financial Working Group was established during the 10th China-EU High-Level Economic and Trade Dialogue in 2023. The General Office of the State Council has issued an action plan to steadily promote high-level opening up and make greater efforts to attract and utilize foreign investment. The action plan emphasizes that foreign investment is an important force in helping achieve Chinese modernization and promoting the common prosperity and development of the Chinese economy, as well as the world economy. China has released 24 measures across 5 aspects, including expanding market access, enhancing its appeal for foreign investors, fostering a level playing field, facilitating the flow of innovation factors, as well as better aligning domestic rules with international economic and trade rules. At a news conference held in Beijing on Wednesday, ministry officials introduced China's efforts in pushing higher standard opening up.
China is deepening the opening up and attracting more foreign investment in various sectors, including healthcare, telecommunications, green economy, manufacturing, and innovation. The action plan would boost the flow of investment, facilitate international business personnel exchanges, improve the management of work and residence permits for foreign nationals. The updated catalogue of encouraged industries for foreign investment will focus on the manufacturing sector, boost the integrated development of manufacturing and service industry, advanced manufacturing, high technologies, and the green energy sector. We welcome foreign entities to expand investments in China and deepen the collaboration with local upstream and downstream companies.
You're watching Global Business, still to come. The commercial space industry in China is experiencing significant growth with increasing investments. We zoom in on the fledgling economy.
In response to global challenges and recognizing our shared destiny, we must promote peace, development, and cooperation. Addressing common challenges and fulfilling our shared responsibilities. Join us at the Pu'ao Forum for Asia Annual Conference 2024.
Now it's time for our special series called Beyond the Borders, the Business of Space, where we delve into the realm of the commercial space industry. This captivating series presents stories, informative figures, and comprehensive analysis on the latest technological advancements and the future of commercial space flight. China has just launched a new relay satellite into lunar orbit. The Queqiao-2 lifted off from a Long March 8 carrier rocket at Wenchang Space Launch Center in South China's Hainan province early Wednesday morning. The satellite is primarily tasked with relaying signals and data to the Chang'e 6 robotic mission, which is scheduled to be launched before July. After its arrival in the predetermined orbital position, the Queqiao-2 will conduct two-way communication tests with the Chang'e 4 probe. The Chang'e 4 is known for its successful soft landing on the far side of the moon in January 2019, a world's first. Recent data underscores the increasing potential of commercial aerospace activities in China. Last year, China conducted 67 orbital launches, with nearly 40% or 26 launches dedicated to commercial purposes, according to the China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation. Additionally, the private sector has invested 6 billion yuan, or about $830 million in the market, with significant developments such as the delivery of the primary launch pad at China's inaugural commercial spacecraft launch site in Hainan by the end of last year. Projections from science research agency Taibo suggest that the entire commercial aerospace market in China could experience accelerated expansion, potentially reaching a market value of 2.8 trillion yuan, or $388 billion by 2025. Commercial aerospace is one of the most typical representations of new productivity. Over almost a decade of progress, China's commercial aerospace has experienced swift development. Several commercial rockets have effectively entered orbit, and satellites developed by commercial enterprises have secured numerous pioneering domestic technological achievements. So what exactly is commercial aerospace, and how is China's commercial aerospace development progressing? Our reporter Olivia He explains.
How expensive is it to send a package into space? A tech company in Shanghai estimates the total cost to be around 260 million RMB, averaging about 48,000 RMB per kilogram. You might be curious if there's a quicker and more cost-efficient method. Indeed, commercial aerospace provides the answer. For instance, the tech company G-Space has established a satellite superfactory to tackle this challenge.
In
traditional aerospace, the focus is on prioritizing safety and reliability. In commercial aerospace, cost becomes a crucial factor, requiring the optimal blend of innovation, fault tolerance, and cost reduction.
Zhang Hua believes the key to low-cost rapid mass production involves three main things: using modular design to making them more versatile and reduce delivery time, opting for industrial-grade parts to cut costs and simplify manufacturing, and following a flexible production approach like how cars are made, allowing for efficient production of different types of satellites. This flexibility can improve how many satellites can be produced at once.
At present, our factory has surpassed the capacity constraints of traditional satellite manufacturing and can now produce one satellite per day. This has led to a reduction of approximately 45% in satellite production costs and has facilitated the swift assembly of satellite constellations.
In April 2022, G-Space achieved the development of the first orbital surface satellite for low-orbit future travel. This milestone was followed by a successful launch into orbit at the Xichang Satellite Launch Center in June of the same year, signifying a significant advancement in China's commercial satellite history. Over the years, due to the commitment of multiple generations of aerospace professionals, China has established a robust aerospace technology industry system. To take advantage of the significant opportunities in the growth of commercial aerospace, an increasing number of companies are expanding the aerospace industry chain.
By 2025, we anticipate achieving an annual production capacity of 50 commercial rockets and 600 commercial satellites to establish our Shanghai Star. Additionally, we aim to cultivate approximately 8 characteristic parks for the space information industry, ultimately culminating in an overall spatial information industry scale target of 200 billion yuan.
As we are currently in a phase where everyone is gearing up to invest and experiment, the application and profitability stages are on the horizon. We anticipate that the satellite and its application industry could potentially achieve a production value of approximately 3 trillion yuan in the future.
In 2023, China launched 270 satellites into space, with 133 of them classified as commercial satellites, representing 65% of the total. Industry experts predict that commercial aerospace development in China will continue to gain momentum in 2024. It's projected that within the next 5 years, China will have deployed over 1,200 commercial satellites in orbit. Olivia He, CGTN, Taizhou City in Zhejiang Province.
Earlier in our program, Huo Liang, CEO of Deep Blue Aerospace, a private space launch service provider in China, shared insights on the company's technological advancements in commercial orbital launches and the prospects within this sector.
The commercial space area is an emerging skill that we have never seen before. In the global scale, they are about to raise in about 2000. And encountered about 20 years development, and we call it a golden age of this area. But in China, this area raises about several years ago, and several young companies are just raising from brand new enterprises, realizing the stability as well as low cost is very important in this area. Yes. We have realized significant developments in the VTVL test ranging from meter level to 1000 level, and we have complete over 100 times ignition test of our engine. All these tests have proved the stability of our launching vehicles. Our priority is developing reusable liquid rockets to promote the capabilities of entering the outer space, as well as reducing the cost to reach the orbit. And within our country, in China, the whole commercial space industry chain, including the commercial satellites, the services, and the launching vehicles, all these companies are emerging in the recent years, and the whole chain is emerging as a brand new economic area.
You're watching Global Business, still to come. San Jose is hosting the Woodstock of AI as 16,000 individuals gather for chip giant NVIDIA's GTC conference.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global Business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide. We feature top analysts and newsmakers to provide perspectives on every facet of business. From an on-the-ground perspective, we provide you with balanced and objective assessments. Fast, sharp, and insightful. Global Business, only on CGTN.
The U.S. Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee convened on Tuesday to continue deliberations on the timing of potential interest rate cuts. The committee is scheduled to announce its decision on Wednesday, along with an updated summary of economic projections. Following the announcement, Fed Chair Jay Powell will hold a press conference offering additional insights into the Fed's perspective. Having previously raised interest rates to a 23-year high ranging between 5.25% and 5.5%, the market sentiment suggests that the Fed is unlikely to alter its interest rate this week. This sentiment is reinforced by the February consumer prices, which rose to 3.2% annually, significantly surpassing the Fed's 2% target. On top of that, economists are estimating 3 rate cuts throughout the year. Now moving on to some other business headlines we're tracking this hour. Indonesia's central bank has maintained interest rates at a near 5-year high, with Governor Perry Warjio stating that the decision is aimed at supporting the rupiah. The possibility of monetary easing will be entertained after mid-year, particularly when the U.S. Federal Reserve commences rate cuts. In the UK, consumer inflation increased by 3.4% in February, marking the lowest rate in 2.5 years. This deceleration in inflation has sparked speculation that the Bank of England is likely to consider rate cuts later in the year. According to a report in the New York Times on Tuesday, Saudi Arabia is planning to establish a specialized $40 billion fund for investment in artificial intelligence. Discussions have taken place between the country's sovereign fund and prominent financiers, including Silicon Valley's top venture capital firm, Andreessen Horowitz, regarding potential partnerships. Around 16,000 people are in San Jose, California for an event that some industry analysts are calling the Woodstock of AI. The conference is called GTC and it's being held by the rising star of the tech world, NVIDIA. Mark New has the details.
Perfect name. Blackwell. Silicon Valley-based NVIDIA has become one of the most valuable companies in the world, in large part because of the skyrocketing demand for artificial intelligence.
So NVIDIA is at the heart of the AI revolution because of one thing, the GPU. And that GPU is a graphical process unit. That chip is really what powers all these AI transactions. But it was generative AI that put NVIDIA back on the map. Their stock is on a tear. And it's almost up 270% over the last 12 months.
At its annual GTC conference, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang unveiled Blackwell, its latest GPU chip. Huang held Blackwell side by side with its previous generation GPU called Hopper for comparison. NVIDIA claims Blackwell has 4 times more AI training performance capability.
208 billion transistors, and so you could see, I can see, there's a small line between 2 dies. This is the first time 2 dies have abutted like this together in such a way that the two dies think it's one chip. There's 10 terabytes of data between it, 10 terabytes per second. It's just one giant chip. And so when we were told that Blackwell's ambitions were beyond the limits of physics, the engineer said, so what?
It's not your normal chip. Normally you put a chip in and you add another chip. They actually have the technology allow you to pull together all the chips to act like one chip. So imagine a bunch of Lego building blocks coming together to form one big chip so you can supersize any chip that you have.
NVIDIA also showed how its AI tools are being used to power digital twins, like virtual representations of a real-world factory floor. This digital twin warehouse, complete with digital workers and autonomous robots, tests how to solve a system's problems before they happen in the real world. NVIDIA also revealed that its chips will be used to power autonomous driving systems, including for the world's largest EV maker, Chinese company BYD.
Huang says NVIDIA has also created Earth 2, a digital twin of the Earth that's using AI to help predict weather. It's also using its high-tech tools for drug discovery, hoping to speed up the development of successful medicine.
NVIDIA is also using its AI tools to make strides in the world of robotics.
We are starting to do some really great work in the next generation of robotics. The next generation of robotics will likely be a humanoid robotics. We now have the necessary technology to imagine generalized human robotics.
Huang brought on stage a variety of special guests, all humanoid robots that NVIDIA is helping to make more useful, more intelligent, and more human-like. Mark New, CGTN, San Jose, California.
And that will do it for this edition of Global Business. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.